If you just let a thought come and go, it would never be a problem. The problem begins when we start dissecting our thoughts. The problem begins when we start living in the memories of our past or imagination of our future. The problem begins when we forget the difference between reality and our thinking. Hi everyone, this is Anurag. Everything we do in life is for happiness, whether it is doing something nice for our kids, whether it is donating for our charity, buying that new house or car, or any other thing. The ultimate objective or the ultimate outcome that we're seeking is happiness. Research shows that happy people perform better. What if I said to you that we did not need to do anything to be happy? What if I said to you that happiness was innate? It was always present inside us. Our mind is like a pond of still water. That's its true essence. Our thoughts are like stones. So every time a thought occurs, it starts a series of ripples in our mind. And when we have too many thoughts, it gets difficult to see clearly. Buddha once said, we suffer not because of our problems, but because of our thoughts about those problems. But I don't think thought itself is a problem. Here's a quick experiment for you. I want you to close your eyes and think of a time when you're really sad. What do you feel? Now I want you to close your eyes again and think of a time when you're really angry. What do you feel now? Once again, I want you to close your eyes and think of a time when you're really happy. And what do you feel now? You see, if you're like most people, you would experience the same feeling based on your thinking. And the thought alone is not the problem. This experiment itself shows that the thoughts that we focus on is the problem, or the thoughts that we have about our thoughts is the problem. In other words, thought plus energy becomes emotion. If you just let a thought come and go, it would never be a problem. The problem begins when we start dissecting our thoughts. The problem begins when we start living in the memories of our past or imagination of our future. The problem begins when we forget the difference between reality and our thinking. So if our thoughts control our emotions, it becomes even more important to manage our thoughts for our happiness and for our performance. A common mistake that people do when they try to manage their thoughts is they try to control them. Controlling our thoughts is not going to work. When I did my training in NLP, I learned a powerful concept that our mind does not understand negative words. So if I asked you to not to think about a red car, the first thing you will think about is red car. But what if I ask you to start thinking of a white car? Now you're no more thinking about the red car because you're thinking of the white car. And that is another powerful concept, that our brain cannot hold two thoughts at the same time. And this is something that we can use in order to manage our thoughts. That instead of trying to control our thoughts, try changing them. Another important thing to understand is the difference between a situation, a problem, and an imagination. Often things that we think are problems and things that we tend to overthink about are actually not the problems. They are situations or imagination. And there's a thing about situations and imaginations is you cannot solve them. And hence the overthinking continues, because until you have a solution for a problem, you keep on thinking about it. If you have a problem that you cannot solve, chances are that it is a situation. How to deal with a situation? The best way to deal with a situation is to accept it the way it is and try and work your way around it. For example, if it rains, you do not stand there and blame the clouds. You just carry an umbrella. Anything that has not happened yet, a problem that is in the future, is often just an imagination. And the best way to deal with an imagination is to create an alternative imagination, is to understand that the more happier we are, the better we feel, the more likely we'll be able to deal with the problem when it comes. And that's why it's important to not constantly create a negative imagination about the future. Any problem in the past is a situation because you cannot do anything about it. Any problem in the future is an imagination because it hasn't happened yet. The only change that you can make is in the now. And in the now, the better you feel, the better you will do.